Okay, guys, yesterday, or in the last lesson, all of the quadratics that we were working with, this is a polynomial, and this polynomial is called a quadratic because the highest power, the degree of x is 2. Okay, when the degree of x is 2, or the degree of the polynomial is 2, this is called a quadratic. Okay, and in the quadratics yesterday, the final term, the constant term, was always positive. Now, that doesn't mean the factors were positive, right? Sometimes both factors were negative, or both factors were positive, okay? But all of the constants in the quadratic were positive, and we were working off of that, okay? Now, today we're going to get some constants in the quadratic that are negative, but the rules remain the same, okay? It says that x squared, the coefficient of x squared is 1. Let me write this a little bit bigger just so old people can see it. Okay, there we go. Now, we know that since the coefficient of x is 1, it's just going to be x and x. Right? We did that yesterday. That's easy enough. Okay? But Arjun, when I look at this constant term, I see that it's a negative 20. That means of the factors of negative 20, one is going to be negative and one's going to be positive. Okay? So I can have negative 1 and positive 20, or 1 and negative 20. Both of those give me negative 20 when I multiply them. Okay? I'm looking for a pair that gives me, and I'm going to write this right here, I'm looking for a pair that gives me negative 1 because that's the coefficient of x, right? Of the x term. Okay? Now, I'm going to write all of these out, but you may already see this. What two factors of 20 are 1 apart from each other? Jack? 5 and 4. But we need to end up with a negative. So which one of those two factors needs to be the negative, Reed? It needs to be negative 5, positive 4. But let's just look at the factors for a moment since we have a second. Okay? So let me extend the page a bit. So I also could have negative 2, positive 10, or 2, negative 10. I could have, no, 3 doesn't go into it. 4 does, though. Negative 4, positive 5, or 4, negative 5. Now, let's look at the sums of these pairs, because this gives us the middle coefficient. That gives me positive 19. This gives me negative 19. This gives me positive 8. This gives me negative 8. This gives me positive 1. And this gives me negative 1. And remember, we were looking for negative 1, the coefficient of the x term. So all I do, and it doesn't matter in what order I put these, I'm going to take 4 and negative 5. So I'll do plus 4 minus 5. And that's that quadratic factor. Okay? And that's it. That's it. We're done. Good job, guys. Let's look at the next one.